Odaiba is a really big man-made island just in Tokyo, and it has all sorts of things. If you want to go there for a bit of fun, I would highly recommend it because there are things like amusement parks, and for you car goers, there's an old car warehouse where you can see all sorts, including the DeLorean from Back to the Future, and that's pretty cool, isn't it? I've decided to come here just for a visit. I did briefly visit here before. If you've seen my other video on the Tokyo Trick Art Museum, that is here in Odaiba. But I felt like I needed to show the rest of Odaiba off. So without further ado, let's go check it out. Oh yeah, I forgot, I'm on a Ferris wheel. Let's check it out in like 10 minutes. Yeah, let's do that. What I was just riding was the Daikon Rancher, a giant 115 meter tall Ferris wheel that when it opened it was the tallest Ferris wheel in the world. Now that's pretty impressive. You can take a ride on coloured or clear carriages, although if you do want a clear one, you will have to wait a little bit longer because there are few of them on the wheel. I suggest that this is one of the first things you should do in Odaiba, just because it gives you a great scope of the area and gives you some great views of the Tokyo Bay area. The area that the Ferris wheel is located in is known as Pallet Town, not to be confused with the starting area from the original Pokemon games. Pallet Town has all sorts of goodies, and as you make your way to the Ferris wheel, you're more than likely to run into the Car Garage Museum. Now this has a robust history of all sorts of cars, including the DeLorean that I mentioned earlier. If you're a car fanatic, then this place cannot be missed, and good news, it is absolutely free to walk in and check out all of the cars on display. Just beyond the car museum is another entirely indoor area known as Venus Fort. Now this whole area, its theme comes from an 18th century South European town, and it looks quite cool. Venus Fort is actually just a shopping mall, but hey, it looks absolutely awesome. And I don't know if it's just me, but there's something about a painted sky that really makes you feel like you've exited a world and entered a new one. It had a similar thing at the Ramen Museum. The most interesting thing in the Venus Fort would have to be the giant water fountain. Just don't get too close because you will get wet. Thought we were done with cars? Well then, you'd be wrong, because right next to the Ferris wheel there is the Mega Web Toyota Showcase, which shows all sorts of things new in the world of cars. Once again, this place is absolutely free to enter, and it's quite interesting to see what the car manufacturer is actually up to these days. There's also this sort of Segway hire. I saw some people riding them. I didn't quite figure that one out. Seems cool though. Now that those locations are out of the way, I want to focus on my first main location, which is right at the base of the Ferris wheel, Tokyo Leisureland. Tokyo Leisureland is quite similar to the Round 1 chain of stores that we have in Japan, in that they offer the usual stuff like crane games and arcade machines, but then they also offer additional things such as karaoke, darts, and bowling. What I like in particular about Tokyo Leisureland though is the selection of arcade games they have available. Now while the arcade scene in Japan is still thriving and is definitely way better than it is in the West, at the same time it's a bit lame because the arcades in Japan, they all contain the exact same games. Oh cool, an arcade. Let me guess. Border Break, Tekken, and Dissidia. Yep. So that's where Tokyo Leisureland steps in and offers us a bit of variety. First off, let me tell you a quick story. Back in Australia, I went to my local retro game shop, and when I went there, the guy who owns it, he gave me a game for the Dreamcast known as Tokyo Bus Guide. The game shouldn't be fun, but surprisingly it is, and it's really addictive. All you really do is go from bus stop to bus stop and you just deliver passengers. Sounds fun, right? But it's the harsh penalties that the game dishes out that makes it surprisingly fun and somewhat frustrating. You will get penalized for everything. Brake too fast, accelerate too fast, forget to announce a bus stop, forget to open the door, or 1 or 2 kilometers over the speed limit. Sorry, you're getting penalized. Now, imagine the surprise on my face when I actually saw at Tokyo Leisureland an arcade version of the game. I had no idea that existed. So naturally, I put 100 yen in and gave it a shot, and unsurprisingly, I instantly failed because I hit the curb. Brilliant. This place has all sorts of big vehicle cabinets just like the Tokyo Bus Guide, but more importantly, it has not 1, not 2, but 3 Outrun 2 arcade cabinets. My high score from last time is still there, and I'm currently 3rd place, trying to aim for 1st. There are also some things for the family to enjoy, like some sort of haunted house, which would explain the dude outside, and there's also a small ninja village. After you're done with Tokyo Leisureland, if you make your way to the other side of Odaiba, which is about a 10-minute walk away, you'll find yourself in an area known as Dex Tokyo Beach. Many people would come here for Sega's Joyopolis, which is a giant indoor theme park with roller coasters and all that, and it's definitely worth a visit. But if you actually turn around and go up the escalator right behind it, you'll find something cool. This floor is known as Daiba Ichi Chome Shotengai, but let's just call it Nostalgia Street. This is a straight road of non-stop old school stuff, and immediately on your right is one of the many lolly shops to be found, which has all sorts of goodies for cheap prices. You can even find the ever so tasty ramen at one of these shops. As mentioned earlier, the Tokyo Trick Art Museum can be found on this floor, and it's a great place to get some wacky photos, so definitely check that out. If you need more information, check out my Mount Takao video. My favourite place on this floor is immediately to your left. It's a retro arcade, and oh boy do they mean retro. The walls are decked out with manga covers from decades past, and they have all sorts of old school arcade cabinets with classics such as Street Fighter 2 and Xevious. They have a few cool individual dedicated cabinets too, with the highlights being Virtua Cop 2, House of the Dead, Point Blank, Super Hang-On, and of course, the original Outrun. If you start to get hungry for some actual food on this floor, if you just keep going straight, you'll eventually walk into the Takoyaki Museum. As you could probably guess by the name, all they sell here is everything takoyaki. And they also have a souvenir shop which, apparently according to the website, claims to have over 200 different unique items about takoyaki. That's insane. And if you hang around this museum area for a while, you're bound to hear the awesome theme music. So that's my basic rundown of Odaiba, and those are a few places I think you should definitely give a visit. And if you do come to Tokyo, Odaiba is a must. And while you're there, hey, try and beat my Outrun scores.